So expressing their sentiments.
Right. Well,
why is the National Guard here?
Yeah, and one of the things that the governor said is, I don't want Texas to turn into what California is seeing. There's been so much unrest there. A lot of people have been arrested. But Taylor Whartonby, you're out here in the middle. Can you explain to us what you're seeing and what's going on over there?
We just got over this side. We were over by the Alamo Plaza, so we got to see all the DPS troopers get geared up. And before they were getting geared up, they had a plan. They talked to some officers that were inside, and then they came out this way. And then you can see them. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a view. They are lined up over here if you want to take a look at the DPS officers. They're lined up, and there's tons. I mean, there's tons of people here with signs. Right now, I can't understand what they're saying exactly, but they are making some statements here. If you want to listen in for a few. Some cheering going on right now, but for the most part, this is remaining peaceful. Lots of signs up here. We have the American flag over here, and then another chant that we're having over here. You will not divide us. They are saying, you will not divide us. You will not divide us is what they're chanting here tonight. So again, tons of people. We have American flag flying right over here. And again, this is being peaceful. Lots of people here tonight with their signs, a lot of chanting. So we'll keep you updated as this develops.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Be safe, of course. We are standing by. I'm not sure how close Taylor is to what we're seeing on the left side of the screen. I think she's probably relatively close. It sounds like a lot of these protesters don't appreciate the fact that the governor kind of made the assumption that the National Guard would be needed. That's why they're chanting that. You know, they're like, we're not doing anything here. We want to be peaceful. We didn't need that assumption to be made. But from the governor's perspective, he was saying this is just preemptive. We want to make sure everything's going to be okay.
And that's what the governor was saying yesterday. You know, he said, I don't want Texas, what happened in California. I want to make sure Texas is a law and order state, and we are going to have law and order. Right. And speaking of California, you know, we know this is where the protest started last weekend, and it was just earlier tonight that the LAPD announced that over in California, over 400 arrests have been made. The majority of people were arrested for, you know, just not being where they were supposed to be because there has been a curfew in place there. But of course, some have been arrested for and other serious offenses as well. But over 400 arrests. We've seen over 80 people arrested in New York City. So we have seen arrests in other protests across the country, but that has not been the case here that we have seen so far in San Antonio.
And we'll see what happens the rest of the night. There have been arrests just down the road or up the road in Austin. We have seen probably at least a dozen. But yeah, I mean, I believe there is also a curfew in Austin. I haven't had a second to even check on the pulse of what's going on in downtown Austin tonight because we've had this going on here. But I do think this crowd is definitely growing. And I know we're putting ourselves a little bit of risk by listening in because we are nervous. This is live, so we cannot possibly predict what you will see or what will be said. And want to make sure that there's no profanity. But let's go ahead and take another listen into these protesters.
I lost you. Josie, I lost you.
Yeah, they came up with their, I know right around 7 o'clock, right before 7 o'clock, when the protest was supposed to start, our reporter Destiny Fuller was at City Hall with these protesters for several hours. She said someone showed up, they've got a microphone, they got a speaker, they're out here, they started chanting right away. It was very well put together, it seemed. Everyone was very close. She did text me a little while ago and said that a fight had broken out, but it was within the protesters, and protesters broke it up and everything was good after that. She thought that everyone was kind of dispersing or at least moving on. And of course, that's where they moved on to. And there, in that shot, we see our reporter Taylor Whartonby.
Yeah, and that's what we have seen. You know, when we mentioned the protest at City Hall earlier, we saw the crowd of people standing outside. And then they were kind of walking around City Hall and coming back to City Hall as well. So we are taking a live look here at this picture as well. And, you know, the crowd is still out there. It's unclear how long they're going to be out there. But one thing that the San Antonio Police Chief, William McManus, said earlier is that we are going to have a very heavy law enforcement presence from SAPD as well. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar as well saying that. So that is one thing that we are seeing. We are seeing SAPD. You have Bexar County out there. You also have DPS troopers, the National Guard. So you have a lot of different law enforcement agencies that are out there with the people. But again, the sentiment that we are seeing throughout the night, peaceful protests. Let's keep this peaceful. We heard the guy on the megaphone saying peaceful protests. So that is something that, you know, that is what the police chief, that is what the mayor has been asking for from this community.
And it's hard because you just don't know what's going to happen with these. People are cheering now. Now, while you've been talking, Melissa, I got curious because I was thinking, you know, what are we seeing in Austin and our other cities? So
I can hear you, Josie.
we have seen not just the country, but like I said, Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. There are protests going on in all of these cities. President Trump deployed 4,000 National Guard troops and more than 700 Marines to California. Austin is going to be seeing more demonstrations this weekend, and city leaders there in Austin are saying, you know, we're going to have National Guard troops here. They're on hand. DPS is here on hand because things have been a little more ramped up there in Austin throughout the course of the week.
And just, you know, earlier tonight, the Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sied released a statement on behalf of the Archdiocese of San Antonio as well. And so the Archbishop of San Antonio saying that we pray for peaceful demonstrations and actions which build up instead of destroy, and that he joins the Archbishop there in Los Angeles and many other faith leaders in their pleas for lawmakers to work to find common ground. We understand that we do have another crew on scene. We're going to go ahead and...
David Elizondo, our assignment desk manager. David, what are you seeing as you're walking around and hearing?
Hey guys, we're at the corner of East Houston and Alamo Plaza in front of the Federal Building on the northwest corner of the Alamo grounds. Large contingency of state troopers and DPS and National Guard and SAPD, all kind of holding perimeter here. The protest has been peaceful. There's been a lot of chanting, a lot of very enthusiastic, you know, protesters. But so far it's been peaceful. I've seen one person taken into custody after somebody was waving the Trump flag. Some guys took exception to that and started arguing with them. And next thing you know, a couple of people got taken in to custody briefly. I don't know what happened to them. Other than that, it's been relatively peaceful here. A lot of chanting going on. And this is right here at the very footprint of the Alamo. So this is where all the National Guard has been and DPS. I'm going to walk over here to where they're at. You can see them here by the wall. And they've been standing there stoically the whole time, you know, standing post and not confronting anybody. There's been no confrontations that I've seen, just a lot of yelling. It looks like some of the crowd is starting to leave here, which is probably good. They're all starting to walk out, as you can see, out some of the streets here. Bike police have been here also holding down the fort, as well as other officers around the perimeter. Can you hear me?
Hey, David, I don't know if you can hear me, but we want to know if you've talked to any of the protesters out there, any of the people. What's their end game? Why? How long are they planning to be out there, and what exactly is it are they looking for?
Well, most of them are starting to move. I don't know if they're going back to City Hall or where they're going, but they're going down the street now. Seems like they're dispersing from this area here by the Federal Building and the post office. I'm right here in front of the Hipólito Garcia building. And yeah, we're going to go with them down the road here. Yeah, they've been here for at least 30 minutes probably. As soon as I pulled up, you know, there was a big contingency of folks here. And they have been walking over the streets, you know, taking over some of the streets and walking down the block. Everything's been good so far.
Well, we certainly hope that it stays
Trying to walk
that way.
some of the signs here. Yeah, so far it's been good. People have just been trying to get their point across that they don't believe in the current immigration policies and that they want some change. A lot of people have been calling, you know, for Trump to step down. And I am going between some buildings. I might lose you here depending on our signal.
David, are you seeing any of the police officers? Are they walking with the protesters right now, or are they staying put where they were?
No, they've been staying put, standing post where they're at. And that's one thing we noticed earlier when David Mendoza was flying around in Sky 4, was that there was a lot of officers, you know, along the corners and on the streets, but they weren't walking with them. They weren't, you know, trying to keep them from going anywhere. They weren't trying to funnel them a certain direction. They were pretty much giving them free rein to walk around downtown. So that's pretty much what it's been like here.
Right. I mean, and let's point out, police aren't wanting to get into any kind of scuffles. They're not looking for that. It's not what they want.
And David, are you guys walking back to City Hall?
Yeah, it looks like we're going back towards City Hall, yeah. They've left the federal building in the Alamo area, and we're walking down Houston Street right now, going westbound.
How many people would you guess?
Well, now we're a block away.
About how many people do you think are still out there tonight?
A couple hundred people at least. Probably more like 3.
And you've been monitoring this throughout the night.
About 300 people, more or less.
So you can probably get the sense that this has grown. More people have come out throughout the night.
I would say so, yeah. Throughout the evening when it got cool, people tend to come out when it's not so hot. So, yeah, as soon as the sun went down, it seemed like it ramped up a little bit. And there's still a lot of energy and emotion in this crowd.
Are you feeling, you know,
I'm trying to walk and navigate people.
So we were all in the studio earlier, and we were watching the pulse of this on the monitors from the aerial shots and from the ground. Is it the same protesters, or has the feeling, the pulse of this protest group changed, or is it the same?
Well, let me talk to one of the guys that I saw. He was on a megaphone earlier in front of the buildings, and I'm going to pull him aside here just to kind of get away from the crowd and the noise. Tell me your name, sir.
My name's Olivo. Nice to meet you.
Okay, Mr. Olivo. Tell me why y'all were out here protesting today.
I'm protesting not only for myself. I'm protesting for my father and my family side. On that family side, I was born and raised by an immigrant father who has busted his ass for almost 20 to 25 years in this country, and I hate that people argue that he should have done it the right way, but he has tried to do it the right way, and the system here is terrible. I'm here to protest and fight and let my voice be heard, because I've been told so many times that if I were to do this, it means nothing. But people, like I was explaining to the people over there in the protest, this country was built upon things like this. The civil rights movement, the women's suffrage, all led to a resolution because they were peacefully protesting for what they believe was right.
Are you hoping these peaceful protests get some change going, obviously?
Yes, sir. I'm trying. I don't want to put myself in a point of leadership, because that's not my job, but I do want to try to create something as peaceful as possible. And if I can some way, somehow lead that, then by all means, I will take that mantle, because these people deserve to be here. These people deserve to fight for what's right. These people deserve to fight for their brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, tios and tias. And nobody should be labeling any of these hardworking Mexican Americans as rapists, pedophiles, criminals, drug dealers, but many of them haven't even committed a single crime in their life. I can tell you right now, my father hasn't even gotten any more than a speeding ticket.
Mr. Olivo, thank you for talking with us. We're going to catch up with the crowd here. So there you hear it, Josie. That's one of the protesters here. He was one of the gentlemen that was up on top of the steps of the federal building there with a megaphone just a few moments ago.
Gotta tell you, David.
And Mandy, we're going to go back to you.
That was one of the most just off-the-cuff, moving statements that I could have imagined hearing from somebody that we just pulled off the street. His perspective I think, echoed by a lot of people, and that's why they're out there tonight.
The personal story of his own father, why he is out there and calling for the peaceful protest.
Yeah.
That is something that, you know, he was even stressing on that megaphone that when he was talking earlier.
Yeah. We are here. We are being calm. We want to be peaceful. Gosh, that just honestly made the hair on my arms stand up. I really appreciated his perspective. Of course, this is a very controversial issue. People feel very strongly on both sides of it. But
Josie, can you hear me?
That was very moving. And of course, David now moving towards City Hall. It appears that that is back in the direction where they're headed. As David's walking more, and we're getting closer to people again.
Yeah, it appears. He said that they were kind of going towards the direction of City Hall, and that's pretty much where we saw around 7 o'clock tonight, where everybody pretty much gathered in front of City Hall, and that was kind of the main hub where people started this demonstration.
And it's interesting that we were wondering, were they going to move? They had that big presence, law enforcement did, around the Alamo and around the federal building there to make sure that it wasn't hurt in any way, or, you know, nothing was going to happen to it. And the protesters made their way over there. But, you know, we did see that wall of law enforcement, DPS troopers just standing there, not interacting, not talking back, nobody, you know, just standing there and guarding the facility.
And I believe we have Taylor Whartonby back again. So let's go ahead and toss it back to Taylor. Taylor, who do you have with you right now?
Yeah, so again, I'm out here at the Alamo. So I grabbed someone. Her name is April. She's been out here since 6:30. Tell me set the scene. What does it look like all day for you?
There was about 200 or 300 people here at 6:30, 7 o'clock, mostly peaceful, and that's great. That's great for everybody. That's what we want to see. There was a couple of scuffles the first time around, but overall, I mean, they have a right to protest, and I was just here to film and witness it, and to watch our guys here make sure they were safe.
So what's the main reason that you're here tonight?
Truth. I'm all about showing people truth, so I'm out here trying to film and bring what's happening firsthand out in San Antonio.
Have you seen any incidents happen?
There were a couple of Trump supporters who had Trump flags, and that seems to be the only time that it really got kind of aggressive. They yanked the flag out of one woman's hand. She kind of twisted and fell, and then the other guy held his flag, and they started trying to rip it away from him as well. The flag fell to the ground. I stepped on it to try and hold it in place. Then I got shoved out because there was so much shoving and scuffling going around, and I guess he just assumed that I was one of them. But overall, the police came in and they escorted the 3 or 4 people that had those flags out.
So look, for right now, the Alamo has cleared out. They said they're continuing their protest. They're going elsewhere for right now. So we'll keep you updated with the latest. I'm Taylor Whartonby reporting live. Back to you.
Thanks, Taylor. That was a really good, completely different perspective of this from
Josie.
That woman whose name is April, who said she's been out there. She's there to film and witness. She says she is there for truth. And she's been in the middle of some scuffles.
Right, and that's the thing. They're there for truth. So we have been seeing these images play out for the last several days. We have been seeing these protests that started in LA and the images there and in other areas of the country, New York City, St. Louis, Raleigh, North Carolina, you know, closer to home, El Paso, Austin. So we have been seeing these protests unfold, and this is, we are bringing this to you live because we want to show you exactly what is happening here in San Antonio.
It's emotional. It's high energy. And yeah, I mean, we're witnessing this moment and we're all witnessing it together, but we believe that it's important to show this. You know, right in our city, this is happening, and there are hundreds of people out here converging.
Josie.
And that is one thing that Mayor Ron Nirenberg and Police Chief Willie McManus had talked about in a joint press conference earlier today about they understand the emotional toll, because this isn't just, okay, people are going out to the streets. You know, they understand the emotional toll. So let's go ahead and go back to our assignment manager, David Elizondo, who has been walking with this crowd. David, can you hear us here in the studio?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you, Mel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. David, can you give us a perspective on where you guys are going and what's happening right now?
Well, right now we're in East Houston, passing Main Street. The crowd, some of the crowd's peeled off, but still a good contingency of folks walking westbound on Houston Street. I'm assuming they're going back towards City Hall. I don't know for sure, but we're going to keep going that way till we know. A lot of streets still blocked off, and traffic control going on, so trying to keep things peaceful here.
You said that some of the people kind of dispersed. Are they maybe just going home for the night, kind of already, showed their support? Is that the idea that you're getting?
Some are peeling off. I've been watching some peel off, but some still are walking with the group. Looks like they turned south on Flores, so they're probably going back to the front of City Hall. I don't know if we still have Roy up on the roof there, but you might get a good shot with Roy right now.
And are you seeing police as you're walking, or police lined on the streets there?
Oh, yeah. You can see some right here. They're there at every intersection throughout downtown, directing traffic, keeping the peace. So they've all been here all night long, and I'm sure they'll stay until it's all over.
To answer your question, David, you were asking about
we're going back towards City Hall.
One of our other photographers, whose name is Roy. No, he is no longer out there downtown. So you're really giving us a very good perspective of what we're seeing, what you're experiencing. And we've got another
live picture that we have here.
Another image up here. It's a line of DPS troopers right there.
And this is the live picture where Taylor is right now. So this is where Taylor has been staged for most of the evening, and you can see the DPS troopers that are lined up